What? That's it. That's dope. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, it is go time. What is going on? This is Mortar Mike, and this is another Watch Your Realms video. This is the first one of 2024. I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's content. Today's video is going to be a little more chill than the normal videos that I put out. I have some stuff I want to do more of a recap on the Immortal Codex. I want to tell you guys, what my thought of the Immortal Codex was, what I would do to swap up my teams, what I would recommend would be good ideas for you guys moving forward. The reason why I say that is because it comes back in 7 days. On the 8th, it returns. I don't know if it's going to be the same as before, where you fight the same boss for a few days and you get daily rewards. That may switch to weekly rewards. Be nice if it's daily rewards, but I do know that they gave us a lot of benefits and resources for running the Immortal Codex initially, which is awesome. So I don't know if it's coming back as permanent content, but I do know that it will be back in the next 7 days on the 8th. That being said, it's a good time to prepare for it. If you don't have a super in-game account, or you don't invest a lot into the game, do not feel pressured to keep up with the Joneses in this game. There will always be someone that spends more than you. There's only 2 people in the game I can say that doesn't relate to that. It's only 2. Have your peace of mind, enjoy yourself. Remember, this game has no finish lines. Gotcha games have no finish lines. Don't be the gotcha of the gotchas. Enjoy yourself. This is more of a lull period in the game, so if you're looking here, you notice that we got the Arrival of Heroes, that's wrapping up. Mystery of Artifacts, that's already wrapped up. Lost Legacy is just running Gear Rate 1. So there's no immediate pressure there. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run Gear Rate 1. You see, I haven't even touched it yet. I'm gonna run Gear Rate 1 and get the individual rewards. Once I top off the individual rewards, I will be farming artifact material raids. So I've completed stage 18 of AMR, just so you guys can see it. My focus would be to get more of my artifacts. The reason being is I did not have a critical artifact that would have been really useful in the Immortal Codex, and that is the Lunacy Visor. That being said, I'm going to do 2 things in this video. I'm going to actually do some pulls. One's going to be for artifacts, and the other one's going to be at the end. That's going to be for more champs. I'm going to give it one last chance to see if I can get some amazing stuff out of the Watcher of Realms. You got to do it. You got to give it a shot. If you have it, you have to do it, because these banners that they had were some of the best banners they've ever had in the game. So it's a great opportunity to try those out and see if you can get something great from them. My focus is to get the Lunacy Visor, at least one. This is sad. This is what my boy is wearing right now. This is what he's in right now, because that's the next best option he has. AoE damage by 12%. Now I could have given him something like, I think it's Keen Learning. It's an epic one. I could have given him that and I would have given him a little bit more, but then his stats would have dropped down, so I don't know if that difference matters nearly as much. And you wanted to know why he has that? Because my main man Azor, where are you at, my man? I know I already passed you. I'm pretty sure I did. Always missing the first time I pass him. He has the ISN on. If Cerberus doesn't have on the Lunacy Visor, he dies much faster than Aatrox does. And that's a big problem. So if I can keep Cerberus alive long enough, I would prefer using him in this combat compared to Aatrox. But I do like the fact that you can give Aatrox shields through the power of Azor. Azor has been working nicely. He works nicely with these comps. I do like the fact that you can use shields on them to delay their death, keep them alive longer, but Lunacy Visor is really going to be the big benefit for that. So that was my goal today, was to try to get them. I have 2, well, I have a couple of Legos too. I have 2 big shots at getting them inside of the Mythic Forge. So I think I'll just burn these while I'm here. Keen Wisdom was the one that I was talking about. If you don't have the top tier in-game artifacts, it is perfectly fine to level up the epic Keen Wisdom one, because the ability you get, I think, is if an ally is within 2 tiles of your champion, which is the 9 grid and the next grid around it, which is huge. You can get up to, I think, a 16% damage increase. It's freaking nuts. It's useful. Yeah, so there's the base one I just got right there. And here's a max one here. That's within 2 tiles, increases attack by 16%. So that's something to be mindful of. That's not increases damage. If it increases damage, it scales up on anything that does damage. Increases attack is just off of attack stats. So if you have champions that don't scale off of attack, they scale more off of HP, they scale more off of that content, then it's better for you to go for a different artifact. That's just something to remember. Attack and damage are not the same. Damage is overall in this game. Attack is based on the attack stat. So that's something important to remember. But let's go ahead and do these pulls, shall we? We shall. Wait, I have an epic. Might get a Lego out of this. Might get another Keen Wisdom. Maybe not. So we got 2 10 pulls to see if we get something nice. And I'll do a mini breakdown just in this video, a preview of the video I have coming up. I have one I'm going to be making a full rundown on the artifacts in the game, who I recommend using the artifacts for, and where I recommend using them. Rather than just saying they're just trash, don't use them, I want to give you guys resources on how to be better in this game, not just saying, hey, new content's coming, check out the new content. I want to equip you guys to be amazing in this game, whether you're paying to play in the game or if you're free to play. I killed that sentence. I want to make sure you have some good resources to get the best bang for your time in this game, in Watcher of Realms. So first 10 pull, let's see what we get. Kings, Souls, Tia's Bombs, 3 Spirit Siphons. That is lovely. Spirit Siphon I recommend on 2 champs in particular. Number 1 is going to be Silas, and number 2 is going to be Setram, because their strengths lie in attacking the same target over and over again. Setram actually does more damage the less targets you have to shoot. So there's just 1 target on the screen, he does another 20% more damage, and I'm not sure if that can scale even more, but that's lovely. Spirit Siphon, I'll show it here, increases damage dealt to the same target by 5%, with each consecutive hit up to 3 times. It disappears if you aim at a different target. So if they land a single blow on a different target, it disappears. So this is not a good idea for champs like Kai or champs that do AoE damage, because you're hitting multiple enemies at the same time. Therefore, you lose this buff continuously. Or like a Nyx, this would not be good for a Nyx champion. But for a champion that has single target hits as a marksman, and they hit consistently over and over again, and they also get benefits from it, like Silas does. I think every 5 hits he starts to get soul sniping. It starts to ignore defense, all kinds of crazy stuff, which is awesome. It's great for champs like that. So I do recommend, if you get it, those are 2 ideas that I think are great. Also, this Spirit Siphon is not a bad idea to have on a champion like Idril. Idril also has Idril's Gaze, which I think is probably going to be my favorite choice for her. But if you want to have more stats buffed into your champion, I do think Spirit Siphon is awesome, because as you max scale this, that damage for each consecutive hit is going to go even higher. That's number 1. Number 2, you're going to have higher stats than anything. Then the other one can even level up. Then the legendary artifacts can even level up to. The third one is, when she does her ultimate, she usually is hitting the same target multiple times each time she does it, and she fires fairly quickly, so you can get this consecutive hit boost back very quickly. So those are cases where I think it's really good, because she fires so rapidly, you get the stat boost back quickly. So even when you see chances where she's switching and hitting different targets, chances are she's gonna hit 3 to 6 rounds on a single target, and that's gonna give you that boost to deal additional damage very quickly, and it might allow you to kill that enemy and focus on the next one. So Spirit Siphon is a really good single target artifact. I can't express that enough. It's a really good one to hit. Keen Wisdom, you guys know what that one does. Soul Binding Crystal restores 3% rage when killing a target, cooldown 5 seconds. This is not a bad artifact. There are better ones out there, but the benefit of this is, as you kill a champion, as you kill a target, you get more rage back. Good for your mage class, because it's a class exclusive. So if you have some content where they consistently get kills, it's not a bad idea to get this. I think this is something that's going to have to be leveled up way more. When you kill a target, I think it goes up to 8%, either 8 to 10%, which is really good when you think of that. But you want to have champions that get a really big benefit out of something like that. Champions that have a high cost for ultimates, like a Boreas or something, but chances are you're going to end up using an artifact that does more damage with Boreas. I think like Tear of Starlight, I think that's what it is. Tear of Starlight is probably going to do way more damage to just get kills, and then your rage is going to come eventually. So it's a little balance in that with that. Soul Binding Crystal is not a bad artifact. You have to know where to use it. It's not a broad artifact that put in a lot of content. I think this is more of a niche situation where you would use this when you really got to get that rage going and you don't have another way to get the rage going. This is a healthy alternative once you level it up. So something good to know. Taunting Gaze, increased distance means increased damage. It's pretty straightforward. Every 1 tile away from your target increases damage dealt by 2%. The first champ that comes to mind with something like this is Aracha. But I don't think Aracha is a marksman. I think Aracha is a fighter. So you wouldn't even be able to put it on her. But I will say this too. There's kind of a cheat code with this. When you're fighting the guild boss, your attacks, when you're landing them on the guild boss, count the furthest tile back on the back of the guild boss. So I think it has like 4 or 5 ranges of body of the guild boss. When you hit it, the attacks count as the furthest back block. So this is gonna stack as far away as that furthest back block is from your champion. So in that little grid that's on the front area of the guild boss, that's like right here. Wow, I butchered that. But it's basically a U shape. If you have a champion on the base of that U shape, they're the furthest away from the boss, they're gonna get the best benefit out of that artifact. It's not amazingly strong, but level this bad boy up. I would be interested to see how far this can scale, because I think the numbers could get crazy on this. This is scaled up to level 5, which I'm assuming is gonna make the damage dealt per tile by, wow, just 10%, that's insane. So let's say 10% and you're a total of 6 tiles away, that's a 60% damage boost. Of course, I'm theory crafting by the numbers, but you get the idea of how this thing stacks. That's Taunting Gaze. Next up, Tia's Balm. This was a great artifact in the Immortal Codex. I originally thought that it wasn't going to be that great because I thought by the time you get this is going to be bad for your team because your team's already dying. I take that back because there are some champions that specialize in redeeming your champions from dying. Champions like a Lily are amazing with Tia's Balm because her kit is focused around making sure your champions don't die. She has an ability, I think it's called Thorny Protection, that basically as you she prevents them from dying and then heals them up. As she's awakened, she gives them damage immunity and a shield, and she heals them up while they have the shield. That's great for your other champions. I don't believe it does the same thing to the Aeonas, so that's just something to be mindful of. But she has a really good way, and she could do it multiple times in a deployment. It's not just one time available. She could do it consistently. So it's just a really good option for a champion like Tia, not Tia, like Lily, who specializes in keeping your champions alive. It's great that her healing multiplier is going to be high, so her initial burst of healing is going to be amazing, which means your other healers can focus on other targets. So that's just something good to remember. I found a good area for that. That's the spot I would use Tia's Balm. It's better in other parts of the game, but Immortal Codex seems to be the focus that people are paying attention to. So that's why I say it's really good for champions like Tia, champions that specialize or have things in their kit to save champions from dying. So that's a good option to know too. And last but not least, Voros Wrath. Voros Wrath is a good substitute if you don't have the crit rate that you need. If you're not getting it, it's not bad to get. I personally think it's a better idea to just go ahead and build up your gear and get the crit rate out of it. I mean, you can put an accessory on that gives you 60% crit rate if it's a mythical, 66 if it's like, you know, the ancient mythicals. So just something good to know, just something good to remember. This is a good backup if you can't get the crit rate up. It's a good way to close the gap on it. If your champions take HP, you know, take damage and stuff. It's better for champions that can operate with a little bit of HP missing, like, you know, chaotic faction champs. But chances are you're there to do damage, and you're just gonna put a different artifact on that champion. Not artifact, a different accessory or piece of gear on that champion instead. So this has less practical use because it's very easy to replace with just better gear. So that's my take on Voros Wrath. Not amazing. Not a premier choice I would start with, but it does have its uses. Next 10. Yeah, we're pulling 10. I want that lunacy visor, man. Okay, Heart of Thorns, Scarlet Hunt, War Song, Sharpshooter's Crest, You've seen Consuming Rage, Nightmare Shadow, Regal Crest, Nino's Mercy. I'm going to skip a few of these here. Heart of Thorn, we're going to get straight to the point. It's for defenders. While taking damage, there's an 8% chance of dealing damage equal to 10% max HP to the attacker. This is not a good one to have because defenders don't specialize in doing a bunch of damage. And if you have high HP, 10% of it is still not going to do a lot of damage. But if you have a champion like a Broke here that can easily get 100k HP on this champion, 10,000 damage at an 8% chance, it's pretty daggum low. So I would say this is not the ideal choice that I would go with. I think as it scales up, I think it does to more damage, to more HP and a higher chance, but it's more few and far in between for me. So I'm not a big fan of the Heart of Thorn, and it may have its uses. It may be a champion that's being made that could be great for this, but I would rather have the Tuning Crystal, which does a decent amount of damage and also hits multiple targets and allows you to heal your champion. So good options there. I think that's pretty cool. Next up, we have Scarlet Hunt. Scarlet Hunt, I think, has the highest drop rate of all mythical artifacts because my goodness, this thing pops up a lot when I do summons, when I do artifact summons. So I would say this is great for champions that have bleed in their kits. Champions like Vladov, champions like Komodo. Any champion that allows bleed in their kit, I think is a really good option. I think Ardea has bleed in her kit too. So it's not bad for champions like that. Honestly, Ardea may specialize in the Realm Tear artifact. It looks like a bunch of crumpled up blue wings. I'm being honest, it looks crazy. And they get more damage per distance. But this is great when you have a champion that has bleed in their kit and they already do high damage at 20% extra damage, not attack, damage. So overall, which is awesome. It's really good for them to have in their kit. The good thing about this gear is that it's very easy to get because it seems to have a very high drop rate. So it's very easy to come across Scarlet Hunt, which means it's very easy to upgrade. That being said, don't burn all your mythical trying to get this thing upgraded when there's other champs that need other things. This is something you're going to have the time to do it anytime while you're playing this game. As long as you're playing, these things are going to be dropping like hotcakes. So it's good to you to keep in mind. Now I'll change. That is when you've maxed out artifact material rate. Don't try to burn too much time in your artifact material rate early on. Try to beat them. When you beat them, that's good. I think when you get to like artifact 15, 16 or so, you can start doing a little bit of farming, but 18 is what you really want to end up getting to because that's when you get only mythical stones, which makes it a lot easier to get these type of artifacts instead of getting any more epic artifacts. You won't be using epic artifacts for basically much of anything anymore. So you want to have this because it's the best chance to get legendaries and mythical. You're basically going to get the epic ones, and if it's not Keen Wisdom, you're going to just be grinding it down in the mithril. So just being honest, when it gets to this level, this is where your champs gets extra abilities to do amazing things. So I do recommend you guys check that out. Sharpshooter's Crest, this is great for your AoE marksmen, your Kias, your Kais, your Kais, your Nyx, champs like your Mauls, champs like that, they're really good for stuff like this because as long as the enemy is a good distance away, they do extra damage, and 20% is nothing to sneeze at. That is lovely. And it scales up as it gets higher. I don't know what this alt goes into. I don't know if it scales, actually I can check that for you right now because we did not get that lunacy visor, but I can check. Let's see. I think Nyx is where.
Bleeding evil dry.
Yeah, so this is 13, so it goes up by 2%. So it goes to up to 30% damage. It's freaking amazing. Freaking amazing. So that's a really good use that I would say you guys should be doing. Now, let's jump into the next topic that I wanted to talk about with you guys, and that is the Immortal Codex. I want to give a recap on that. What do I think should be adjusted from the Immortal Codex from before? What I would do to make it different. First off, we're going to talk about the Conqueror boss. And I actually have it on a different screen. Bloop. I'll pop in on top of my old video. This is the Azor Will Not Be Denied video. So I'll put a little link in the comments or a link up on the screen. At the time of this, you guys can watch the video if you really want to see it all the way through, because I walk through the content and he does a heck of a good job here. But if you look at the team here, I just did it just so I can make it visible. My team is Wrath, my team is Volca, up here is Azor, there is Abomination, and there's Gluttony. And when it gets a little busy, I drop Aatrox. I dropped them in there too. Speaking on the first boss was the Conqueror. You already seen him in the game. You can get this champion, which is kind of cool. He doesn't do all of this stuff. He does some of it, but not all of it. One of the strengths of this guy is he just sends hordes of enemies at you. That's not one of his strengths, that's his only strength. What I did was, you saw the team, those are the guys I'm usually using, but I would change the changes I would make to my team. I would like to get the Lunacy Visor, which is why I'm farming it. I'm farming it until I get it, and then I'm gonna stop farming. I'm not gonna use any of the resources until the new artifacts come out, which are gonna come out maybe within the next week or two. So I'm gonna make sure I'm ready to pull a bunch of those to put those bad boys to work and show you guys how they work, because you wanna know, right? What I would do to change this team, I made a few changes already. First one is I got an A1 Azor. So that allows him to do Fortifying Sparks, which gives those shields and damage buffs, but he doesn't have to wait until he gets the ultimate to do it. So that is kind of cool. Number two, I got Wrath to A5, so Wrath is going to be much more able to survive in the content. So it'll be lovely. So now he can actually self-heal a lot better than what he was doing before, just with Volca's buff. Three, as much as I'll be honest, Gluttony is surprisingly good in this content. I'm going to go to the end of this video. I don't know if his numbers are amazing, but when I played with him, I noticed he did a pretty decent job of killing things because he has a lot more AoE attacks in his kit than I thought he did. And I think I gave him the, yeah, that's where they die. Look how gigantic he gets. Did I check on his stats? No, I think I just chatted. But the focus was, he did a lot of AoE damage, which is surprising, but I had him at I think he's at A5. And his abilities are fully skilled. So he has a lot of chances to proc AoE hits where he's at. Well, they're not necessarily AoE hits. I think, let me make sure. I think he just attacks multiple targets around him.
Bon appetit.
So, oh, I take it back. He's not fully skilled. So I have the chance to do more of that. I'll wait that out a little bit here. I think it's this side ability here. Yes, okay, yeah, 5 enemies ahead and inflicting stun on them. So, he does this often. It says a 10% chance of turning it there, but I beg to differ because I gave him this artifact, which is the Watchguard's Ambition, which gives him a chance to trigger another basic attack, which also triggers a chance to trigger his passive. So he was doing it fairly often over there, getting a lot of extra kills in there, way more than I thought that he was going to be getting. And then he does his ult where he gets kills, and then gets bigger and does even more damage. And at A5, he automatically starts with 3 stacks of his talent, which makes him gigantic and he does heavy damage. So he was actually really good for this content. What I would do to switch this up, I'd keep my team, but I would love to get somebody like a Valkyra or an Ardea to swap out for Gluttony. Gluttony is an amazing champion. He does good damage in there, but there's champions that do more damage in the game, and usually when they're legendary, they have higher stats anyway, so there's a good chance they can dish out more damage. Champions like an Ardea or Valkyra can kill many enemies in a single file, and they can clear out an entire lane by themselves if you give them the right gear. So that would be what I would do to change that one. Now, Sands of Wrath is a different story. I also have a video up for that one. I'll show you my team. Sands of Wrath, I ended up getting the S, I think an S plus in Sands of Wrath. I don't know if I got a double S. I don't know if there's any way to check if I got a double S in the game. I don't think so. I ended up getting the S or a S plus. I think S or S plus is more accurate for this content. This team did great. Surprisingly, they did really good. I didn't have any of the really in-game healers in the game, but I did a pretty decent job with it. This is my A plus score. I ended up getting a good bit more than this. I think this is one of the initial runs I did. This is from the, oh, you know what? I didn't post this video. It was just taking too long to edit and the audio was sounding crazy, so I did not put this video out. But this is one of my first runs of that content. So yeah, I definitely had to get an S plus, maybe a double S, who knows? This content wasn't that difficult for me. It gets overwhelming, but what I would do to update this team, they did pretty well considering who I had. I'd swap out Lily for an Elowin or for an Aelin because the amount of heals that those two champions can do are amazing and will help my team from getting overwhelmed as easily in this content. So I think that those two would be really amazing. Aelin is slept on because people already have other healers in the game and the healers are doing a good job. Aelin is a super strong healer. Eloin's better by healing definition, of course, and she debuffs. She only gets rid of debuffs and does rage regen, which is ultimately why she's the better option in this content. But Aelin does insanely good heals, so she would be a good replacement for my Lily champion. If I got an Eloin or an Aelin, then I will swap out Dasomi for Nasande. Dasomi is so slept on in this game because people see healer and the first thing they think is you got to keep my champion at high health. Dasomi does not do that. Dasomi is a chaotic healer. That's something you want to know. I'll tell you again. Dasomi is a chaotic healer, which means their goal is not to fully heal. Their goal is to support the champions at a lower health so they can do better things when they have lower health abilities that proc. That being said, one of the strengths of Dasomi are two things. Or two of the strengths are Dasomi doesn't just heal, Dasomi casts Magic Essence. Magic Essence counts like a buff, but it's a lingering buff. It doesn't just go away. So just so you guys can see, yes, I did put some into her kit. Grants Magic Essence, killed that sentence, right? Grants Magic Incense upon one ally in range. And does not sound impressive? Read what it says at the very top of the screen. Has a chance equal to 50% crit rate to last twice the duration. As you see, Magic Incense, I keep saying essence, I'm thinking about the other chaotic healer. Magic Incense is 6 seconds, has a crit rate chance of 50% to last twice as long. So for 12 seconds, you can dispel a buff every 2 seconds. And you're throwing these things out actually at a pretty fast speed. Right now, I have my Dasomi. She has an attack interval of 1.4 seconds. So she's getting at least 3 of these out, close to 4 of these out by the time one expires. And then they have a chance to last twice as long. So get an idea of how many of those she's throwing out. You want more? I'll give you more. And then I'm gonna go back to that actual skill. The ultimate can heal 2 more ally units that gives them Magic Incense. So when I tell you, you do not see the debuff in this, it's really hard to see where it is. I don't even know if you can see the debuff, the anti-healing debuff or the healing decrease debuff. I don't know if you can see it, but with Dasomi on the screen, you will not have to worry about it because it covers so many champs at once and increases their defense by 20%. And that can scale up to 30%. And then you can drop the skill cost by another 200 and the rage up by another 200. So he comes into the game almost immediately ready to do this ultimate. It's freaking nice. Now, back into this Magic Incense, I left another part out. If they're below 50%, automatically starts restoring their health back to 50%. Dasomi doesn't have to cast more heals. Magic Incense is on all of these champions, whether they need heals or not. So as soon as they fall below 50%, Dasomi instantly starts healing them. No matter how many of them there were, if they have Magic Incense on them, which is any champion that she has in range, whether it's your champions or whether it's the Aeonas on the field, they all have it waiting. So you never see any of them fall below 50% because as soon as you see them get to it, Dasomi starts healing them. So it's a really cool option. It's an interesting style of staying in the game. Dasomi helped a lot, but what's crazy is you don't see it unless you're doing crazy and then you look at the scores and you see other champions that out heal them. And so you're like, Dasomi didn't do great because the stats don't show what Dasomi excels in. If you were to see a list of how many times Dasomi dispelled that healing decrease or that decrease in the anti-healing buff or whatever it was, that would probably be more remarkable. But then again, that's not on the scoreboard. People shut it down because they're like, this champion doesn't heal to full health. Now you know why. So if you have this champion, they are wonderful. I repeat, full screen here. They are wonderful for that content. I do recommend you give them a shot. And it's crazy because it's hard to tell what the impact is until you're like, dang, this team is working so much better for some reason. Why is it working better? Because freaking Dasomi is getting rid of all your debuffs and they're giving you increased defense. I was on a roll. It's gonna look nice, by the way. It messed up. It's gonna give you increased defense, get rid of your debuffs. Your champ's gonna live 50% HP, automatically start healing while Dasomi's back here chilling, stirring up some more potpourri so you can get more heals and debuffs going on the way. So I like this champion because I found a place that can be useful at. Yeah, Desomir and Nasande. The reason I say Nasande is a good option is a very easy one, and the good thing is Nasande is easy to get in this game. I'm pretty sure already, there she is. Nasande is great because Nasande has bounce heals on her ultimate. Bounce heals allow her to heal champions outside of her range. So even though you see this range, it's kind of restrictive for a healer when you start to see champs like Vortex and, you know, Hollow out there. It looks a little restrictive, but bounce heals allows her to heal champs outside of that range. If there's one champ in that range and somebody near it, the bounce heal will go over and reach them. So really cool option to have. Now, Lord of Sticks is the one that we were waiting to talk about. I do not have a video up for Lord of Sticks because we all suffered the same punishment from Lord of Sticks. Lord of Sticks is tough. I think the boss is built improperly. In the easy mode, it makes sense, it's easy. Of course, you gotta break the shields. In the hard mode, this man has more shield than a Captain America armory. And no, I would say Wakanda because Cap only has one. And they got him two on standby. You guys seen the movie where they put them all up. Okay, we're off topic. But I would probably build a shield versus shield team for the next time I do Lord of Sticks, which is gonna be on the 8th. I would do that because it gets too difficult to break the shields. The only time I will break the shield is in the first or the second one because you get the opportunity to get that vulnerability state in, and you could do additional damage in that window, which is good, which is really what you want to do. You want to still be able to get damage going. That being said, you want to still be able to keep damage going. So you need champions like a Vortex. You need champions like a Hollow. You can get top tier champions like Elowen and such. You need champions that will keep your champions alive through the AoE hit. It is not an instant kill. That's something important to remember. It is not an instant kill mechanic. It just does a high amount of damage. That being said, if your champions are at near full health and you're not about to break that shield, you pop Vortex's ultimate at the very last 1 or 2 seconds or so, and the shields come up, they take a swipe, and the majority of your champions will typically survive that attack, which is really nice, and that allows you to go to the next area and do more damage. So that's been an option that a lot of people have been doing. Some people have been doing hybrid teams where they break the first 1 or 2 shields. So when they break those shields, they get the vulnerability state and they can do damage in that area. In the next ones, they just survive the shields. They just survive the AoE attack by doing the shield ability and blocking the damage that's coming in. So it's some interesting options out there. But the problem with that is that shows that the content was built improperly. When the goal is to get rid of the shields and the top teams on the game are not getting rid of the shields, that's kind of an issue. That means that the content wasn't built properly. And people are really circumventing how to play against this boss the way it was supposed to be built to be played against. It's just too high. More than 90% of the player base isn't even breaking the first 1 or 2 shields in the boss rush. Some people aren't even getting to the boss rush. Like, that's how imbalanced it feels. So that's a hectic spot. Only 5 players are in the SSS ranking for this content right now. Going to ranking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other content, S's, double S's, triple S's, stacked up the whole first portion. So that should give you an idea. It's very, very, and then look at the teams. Oh, and shout out to Boomer. He's number 1 on the list because Boomer's one of the guys I know his name from Raid Shadow Legends. He also made content for Raid Shadow Legends, and he's in this game now. And if you don't know who he is, like I said, he played Raid. He's known as one of the top players in the game in Raid. And him and his clan purchase packs and content in the game like bottles of Deer Park. So they're heavily invested in this game. And even with that being said, there's players like him out there. There's only 5 of them that got triple S in that content. Of the highest investing people in the game, only 5 of them got the top score. That should give you an idea that this content is really balanced improperly. So that's just something to do. That's not knocking people that pay for the game because, hey, you keep the game funded. That allows people to play the game. That allows the game to stay out. So, hey, not knocking that. There's 90 players now. Only 90 players in the entire player base have an S+ or higher. Only 90. There are millions of people that play this game. That's bonkers. So that just gives you an idea. Like, that is very, very heavily stacked, like, against your favor. I will say, if I were going to go the route to break the shields, I have to get a champion like a Calypso. I have a Setchum right now that does a lot of hits, which is wonderful against this boss. But Calypso is great because if you get her, let her play and let her stats and stuff build up, her little seal stones. I kept saying soul stones. It's not soul stones, seal stones. If you let those stack up to another 4, she can do up to 10 hits per attack. It's insane. It's not an ultimate, it's just they stack because of her ultimate, and she just gets more damage, more shots. She also does very good damage. And then if you get her to A5, she gets another seal stone. So she can do up to 12 hits per shot with one of her passives that allow her to get split shots, which are double hits from her shots. So it's originally 5 to 6, but with that passive as well, it becomes 6. No, it becomes 10 to 12. That would be my choice of what I would do to upgrade this. I'd love to get her. There's not many places where I think Calypso's a premier pick that people think of, but in this content, I think she's pretty daggum good. So that's my attempt on that. That's my thoughts on those. Immortal Codex comes back in 7 days. If you have not done very well in this content, now's a good time to build your champs up, play some more content, you know, go in some other gear rate areas. This is the lull period in the game right now. There aren't any crazy events that are going on. There's nothing to be extra pressured about that you have to do in the next 2 or 3 days or so. It's the chill moment. This is where you get your resources back and you go ahead and enjoy yourself. Last but not least, because we're here in a conversation, and I thank you guys for watching. If you've been watching this whole video, I'm going to reward you guys with some of my pulls here. This is my last chance to get that guaranteed legendary hero that I don't have. I have 24 and I have a 10 pull after that with gems. I'm just going to do 1 10 pull. Unless, well, I don't know. I might have to do it. We'll see. But let's do some of the regulars here. Of course, we got our rares to start. Why can I not hear that? I need to hear some audio up in this game. We got to make that thing sound nice. There we go. There, okay. Yes, there you go. Audio's back. Iluka's the slow guy. He put slow out, which is nice. Got some rares going there. All right. Jonas, the brother, he is back. Where again? I want to see if we get it. I think we could.
Runs in my
I know, blood of 1,000 generations runs in your veins. I get it. Another rare. It's funny because I know some of you guys that watch my content, you're thinking about what the rarity is, the same thing I'm doing right now. I'm trying not to say it to spoil it, but now we're going to do a 10 pull. Let's see if we get them. It's worth a shot. Oh, let me full screen this for you guys, right? Looks like another rare tax, a rare rebate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 rebates. So that's 120 gems back. That's not bad. I'll take it. And the last 10 pull here. All right, so we didn't get it in those, but I'm still gonna burn a few gems. Actually, I'll do 2 10 pulls for the gem if I need to. 2, 3, 4 rare rebates, another 120 back in our account. Epic. Got a little purple going on. I wanted to spin a little faster. I wanted to close the Coliseum, put some glass down. So it's just for observers, but let's see what we got here. Nazim, I don't think I have Nazim at A5, so that might get him to A5. I'm not using him a whole lot, but I mean, better to have the champ buffed and ready than to just delete them and then you need them when they give them a buff and they're amazing and you're like, crap, I missed out. All right, last 10 pull, see what we get. I don't think I'm gonna get it, guys. And that's all right with me. Let's get some gems back though. That was rude to the assassinated. Glen, Skull, Spring, Marine, good. All right, so that's good for those. Last but not least, we have 4. I've been seeing you guys have some amazing luck in the comment sections on what you guys have been pulling with these. I'd love to get any of these 3. If I'm like Desmond, I want to get Pelagios, but let's see who pops out of here. At least we get rares at the minimum, but we want some gold. You know, let's make it work. Got Voltus. Oh yeah, I did pop gold in the last video, like 2 or 3 videos ago. So I did get gold from the ancient video. I do recommend you check that out because there's a lot of theory crafting that run around that champion. And I'm currently building them to see what content I can use them in. I know one piece of content I'm really thinking it'll be great in, but it's gonna be high risk, high reward. That's your hint to know what type of champion I just got. But you can check the other video out. I'll pop it up on the screen here so you guys can check it out. The screen's reversed over there. Yeah, over there. Over there, yeah. I'm never gonna get that thing mastered. Yeah, I'll pop that video up there in the top so you guys can check it out. And you'll see it because it is definitely a challenge, but I wanna see it work out. 3 more, this is one of them. Swords. Got our rare rebate back in there. A couple more gems back in the account. All right, close it, open it because I don't know if that matters, but it's worth doing.
Death cannot slow my dominion.
Y'all. Ah! What? That's it. That's dope. Oh my goodness. I just talked about him earlier. You can get this champion, and lo and behold, he's right here. He's a lord too? Oh my gosh. Now I gotta shoot a message to Fassi to say, I think we twins. I think he ended up getting them too. Come on. Come on. I don't even know if it's like, you know how you guys see like his CC look? I don't think it is because I ain't got a single gem from Moonton yet. I'm making stuff, but I don't know if it matters yet. Oh my goodness, this hasn't even hit home that I got this guy yet. Oh my goodness, Cyrus. I think he's in a, is he like a, okay, first, I gotta share and get these other 50 gems because he came with presents. Y'all, I'm gonna be honest. I did not have my hopes set on getting, this is a lord. I did not have my hopes set on getting this champion today. My hopes were set on cake. Let's just be real with you. That's as far as I was expecting today. But my goodness, it just pulled Cyrus. That is freaking awesome. I am happy about that. We got one more to pull. I'm gonna check out his kit after I do this last pull here. Actually, it's right on the screen. I can tap it now, so I'll just do it now. Oh, look at that range. The range, a defender with this range. Let's talk. With the mastery over the skeleton army, Cyrus vowed to reclaim all that was lost. Like all them times I didn't get triple S. So now you're over here, you're on my team now. Let's see what works. Talent. Immediately summons 1 skeleton warrior within 2 tiles when deployed. I think that's a random area, right? No, it's probably gonna be within his range. A summon unit that possesses a significant portion of the summoner's hero attribute, able to attack and block 1 enemy. Interesting. That cost is 25, revival time is 60. All right, let's see max level. Okay, decent HP, decent attack actually for a defender, it's not bad. And pretty high defense scaling. Cost is pretty high, block is 3. Attack interval is pretty slow, mediocre. I mean, it's not bad, but you know, it's pretty standard. All right, let's look at the skills here. This is the AoE one. Okay, I don't know why I thought the other one was the AoE one. Deals 100% AoE damage to multiple enemies in range. I wish it would tell me how many are multiple. I'm going to assume a lot, maybe up to 10. All right, here's the ultimate. Legion of the Dead summons 1 skeleton fighter. We saw that earlier. I'll tap it just so you guys can see it. So, well, you can't see it. I'm in the way. Summon 1 skeleton fighter within 2 tiles ahead and increases their and the hero's damage by 100% and attack speed by 60 for 10 seconds. So his ultimate is he puts out another skeleton fighter. Skill cost can, wow, the skill cost is cheap. That could be down to 550. They could do 50% more damage. That could be 150% damage, and the attack speed could be by 100 for 10 seconds. Does that mean the skeleton fighter dies after 10 seconds? I'm pretty sure they just stay there, right? That's not bad. That's kind of cool. It's a defender with defenders. That's kind of cool. Let's look over here. 40% of incoming damage would be absorbed by the hero's minions. So this guy has a whole different way of being tanky. So all you gotta do is build this guy super tanky, and then he becomes even more tanky because he has minions out that are taking the damage for him. When this hero receives fatal damage, one of the summoners will be sacrificed to resist the damage. That's freaking awesome. They already have block. I don't know if, I don't think Lunacy Visor can't go on him. Olog's Wall, I know it has a different name now. I don't care. It's Olog's Wall because it's his. But I wonder if that transfers over to having an additional block for the minions. If that's the case, we have a serious contender on our hands. I seriously doubt that, but that's not, and the range boost, that's nice. All right, let's check out the other ability. Oh, damage taken by summon 20% more. So 60% can go to the summons, which are basically substitutes. If you play Pokemon, there's substitutes that come out and hold the ground for you. That's cool. That's cool. Next right here. He has a Lord ability I haven't even checked out yet. Mamma mia. King's Wrath. That's a dope name, first off. When the HP of the hero summon is below 50%, increases attack speed by 60 and damage by 30%. So the attack speed can go up another 40, so it's 100, and the damage can become 50% higher. That's bonkers. Can you summon more than one? Because that would be awesome, right? Please tell me it's not an awakening thing. Wait, when summoning Skeleton Fire, there's a 25% to champion. I killed that sentence, sorry guys. When summoning Skeleton Fire, there's a 25% chance to summon Skeleton Warrior? Is that a bigger version? Significant, it's a different version at Awaken, nice. At 3, summons 1 extra Skeleton Fighter when deployed. Okay, got that too. Upon death or retreat, summons 1 Skeleton Fighter. Oh, on retreat also. Okay, nice. I completely forgot that I still have to. Wait. No. Let's go back in here. Are we read this one? Yes. So he gets even stronger as the summon takes damage or he takes damage. Benefits happen either way. That's freaking dope. Let's check out this. He's an Esoteric's Lord. Increases faction allies' basic attributes by 15%. Y'all forgive me, I've been talking for a minute, so everything's coming out flim flam right now. Reduces factions allies' skill cost by 25%. That's insane. When an ally is defeated or retreats, increases the damage of other faction allies by 25% for 8 seconds. This effect can be triggered 1 time every 12 seconds. That is an insane Lord skill, but I have to find more esoteric champions that I would actually want to pull away. He seems like the only one I would want to do it, but that's crazy because he increases the damage by 25%. When you pull him away, he also drops another warrior out there. That warrior is going to be able to do a whole bunch of damage as well. I mean, the Skeleton Warrior. So wait a second, what am I missing here? Is Skeleton Warrior somebody stronger? Is like a stronger version? Because when summoning a Skeleton Fighter, there's 25% chance to summon Skeleton Warrior. What am I missing? Yeah, he summons one when he's deployed. Summons 1 Skeleton Warrior within 2 times when deployed, and summons a Skeleton Fighter when you're here. I don't know if those are different or if it's just intentional. I'm gonna have to test it. He may have more than one version of champions that come to fight. Okay, I'm happy. Oh my gosh. And we got one more, so I might as well burn it while I'm here, right? Let's do it.
What are you looking at?
More rain.
Never seen a hook before?
I'm kind of glad they gave her a different line than my ship, my crew, my rules. I kind of like the hook line better. That's cool. Well, y'all. Well. What can I say? That video was worth making today. I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope this has been content you guys enjoy. This week is a busy week for me in content production. I've been looking at you guys' comments. I have to respond to a lot of comments today. So please forgive me if I haven't yet. I'm trying to make my best possible opportunity to respond. And you can tell sometimes I respond pretty lengthy. I really go in there for you guys. I appreciate you guys for watching this content. May this be an amazing 2024 for you. It only gets better. Let's have an amazing 2024. May you hit gold in life. Y'all take care. I'll see you guys soon. Whew, got Cyrus. It's go time.